Hello friends, welcome to episode 18 of JavaScript programming. In the previous episode we have learned how to use the continue statement to skip a particular iteration. In this episode we will learn how to use JavaScript function and how to use JavaScript function. So JavaScript function is used to perform a particular task. Suppose you want to perform a particular task again and again, or we can create a function. So let me explain this. So let's say you have to calculate a circle circumference. So we can calculate using radius. So now what is the formula we know? So the formula is and radius 2 into pi into radius. Now suppose you want to you have to calculate, let's say, for 5 centimeter radius. So what you will do, so you will declare var r equal to 5, then var c equal to 2 into 3.14, let's say, into 5. Now you got the result. Now again, like if you have to calculate for like 1000, so you will create another variable, this one, then c equal to 2 into 3.14 into that r. So same code we have written 2 times. You can see we have declared the variable r, we have declared this c again, or we will declare another variable. So the logic is this one, the formula. So if we can create a function which will process the logic and it will give us the result, so there we need the function. So a function can return value or also not return any value. So what is the basic notation for function? So to create a function in JavaScript, you have to write the function keyword, then function name and this area. So inside, when somebody will call your function name, this function, this code block will execute, and whatever you will write, this code block will be executed. Now if you want to get input from user in your function, then you can accept some argument, so that when somebody will call your functions, they will pass your argument. You may not accept any argument, then no need to mention the argument. Okay, and of course you can return some value from the functions here, like my result, so they can use your result, or otherwise you may not return value. So let me start with a simple function. So function test, this is test function. Now when somebody will call this test function, hi, I am from function. Okay, so now previously we have used the alert, that is also a function. We are passing one argument, that hi, I am from function. But here our custom function, that is test, but we have not passed any argument because we don't need. Actually we are alerting some static text, so that's why we don't need any arguments. So let's test this one. So if we call these functions, to call a function you have to mention the function name and after that parenthesis. So let me refresh this page. So let me refresh. So here you can see we are getting hi, I am from function. So that means when we are calling this test function, actually the code block of test function is executing. So now how we can accept argument? So to accept argument, let's say function my test. Now here we will accept some argument. So let's say number. Now we can use that number variable in our functions to process some logic. Let's say 2 times. So 2 times. So we will create a variable, let's say var result equal to number into 2. Then we will alert this result. So let's call this function. Now you can see in the previous function we are not accepting any argument. This is called argument. But here we are accepting one argument, that's number. So we can pass a number, let's say 15. So let me go to the page and refresh. Now we are getting 13 because in the function logic we have specified whatever number you will input, we will multiply by 2 and we will alert the result. So let's try for 20. So we should get 40. So let's refresh. Yes, so our function is working. So now let me create a function with multiple argument. So let me create a function called summation or sum function. So function sum. So we will accept 2 argument, x and y. Now we will declare another variable var result equal to x plus y. So now we will alert result. Let's try this function. So sum 15 plus 2. So we should get 17. So let's try. So here is the 17. So you can accept any number of argument and you can process your logic. So the benefit is we have defined our logic one time, but we can call that function again and again with different argument to perform different tasks. Let's say we want to sum 7 9 3 3.12 15. So note that we have defined the logic in the sum function. We are calling the sum function again and again with different argument to get different result. So let me refresh this one. So here we are getting 17, 16 and 6.15. So in this way you can accept number of argument. Next thing is like note that this function not returning any value, but we can return value and that return value we can store in another variable. So let me explain this one. So let me declare 2 variable. So let me create a function sum now x y. So now var result equal to x plus y. Now instead of alert we can return result. Okay, now if we call this function, let's say 15 17, now what will happen? Nothing is displaying because we are returning, we are not alerting. So we can accept the return value into some variable. So let's say var z equal to this one. So the sum of the 15 and 17 which will process by this function and the result will return, and the return value we are capturing in another variable z. So now we can return this alert. So let's test. So now we are getting 32. So I think you understood what is return. So a function return something you can capture in another variable. So So let me create another function which will calculate the circumference. So var radius equal to 15. Let me define that function. Function get circumference. Now here we will accept radius. Now var result equal to into 3.14. That pi value is not correct. When I will explain the math function, math library in JavaScript, that time I will explain how to use the exact pi value. So now we can multiply with the radius. Now we can return this value. Okay, so now let me calculate the circumference of radius 15. So var equal to get, now we have to pass one argument, that is radius, because radius we have declared here. So the value will store in the CIR variable. So let me alert this. So now we are getting 94.2. So in this way a function can return value and you can capture that value in some other variable and you can process that. So like let's say you stored this value in CIR. Now you want to apply some custom logic, CIR multiply by 5. So now refresh, we are getting 471 because we have multiplied this one. So the function is doing some task. So a function can return value or may not return. A function can accept a number of arguments, or you cannot, like you may not mention any arguments. So I think hopefully you have understood the use of function. So thanks for watching, and if you have any question or suggestion, please write comment below this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Have a great day.